Good morning. Welcome to the Salt Lake Center for Spiritual Living. I'm so glad you joined us today. Welcome to those visiting. And again, I appreciate the volunteers making this a safe place for a few of you to gather here. Welcome to any new visitors. I'm so glad you're here. And a special welcome to those tuning in online for our Love Stream service today. I'm so grateful for the supportive community we have here. So many people behind the scenes to make this possible. So grateful for our practitioners today. I called in a couple prayer requests, and it was such a beautiful response. So I encourage you to take advantage of that. So grateful for the practitioners we have in this community. Our spiritual support. We're going to open with a great song by John Stringer, celebrating our theme this month, Cosmic Connection. Let's feel the connection by singing together. And if I could request you, please keep your masks on when you sing. I don't want you to be a propellant of this interesting virus. But I still want to feel that energy when you sing, so please join us. You are welcome here. One, two, three, four.
Here we go. There is a space in my heart where I can find the truth. I find me in you, a truth beyond what you may see now. But when we are one, we bring more good about. No matter who or what you call yourself or where you come from, there is a place in this world with open arms right now. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. Be who you are, let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. You are welcome here, you are welcome here. See with new eyes, allow and unfold, embrace and let go, trust the flow. There's a freedom in love when you follow your heart. Together we are stronger than we could ever be apart. No matter who or what you call yourself or where you come from, there is a place in this world with open arms right now. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. Be who you are, let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. You are welcome here, you are welcome here. Breathe in and out, slowly feel all that surrounds you, all that you feel, all that you know. Let it go. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. Be who you are, let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. When we unite, yeah. When we unite, when we unite. You are welcome here. Love Wow, good morning, everybody. We are so glad that you joined us here at the Salt Lake Center for Spiritual Living, where you are truly all welcome. My name is Linda Brewer, and we are a spiritual community. We like to say this every week, where everyone is welcome to be part of our virtual live stream community, and up to 30 of you are welcome to join us right here in the room. Raj, have we got a video of this out here? My understanding is we were going to show you there's room for more out there. Everybody wave. Empty seats out there. We've got room for you, so we can stay safe and still social distance. So come on down. Our practitioner holding high watch from this morning is Diane Christensen. Throughout the service, she will be in prayer, knowing that the best and highest is unfolding as we share this sacred time together. Our prayer practitioner up here this morning is Jim Ferris. Our center is a spiritual community that teaches a philosophy for daily living based on spiritual principles and practices that are universal among religions. We honor every pathway by which people seek to know and connect with the divine, and we work on our individual consciousness so that we can help make the world a better place. From wherever you are, I invite you to join me in saying together with feeling our purpose statement. We are an open, welcoming community, celebrating our divinity, loving our humanity, and nurturing our journeys of spiritual discovery. Thank you. Remember, for all the latest information about what's happening, or if you're tuning in this morning for the first time and you'd like to know more about who we are, you can find all that on our website, which is www.spirituallyfree.org. Our homepage, you can submit a prayer request, see what's coming up next Sunday. Elsewhere on the site, you can watch previous services, read about the folks who do stuff around here, see the upcoming themes, and so much more. Our theme for this month is Cosmic Connections, and we have a brand new to us speaker this morning, Reverend John Cooper. Next week, our own Rob Ekman will be back to share his gift with us. So for all the details on today's announcements and so much more, please especially see the announcements page on our website. That's where we put all of the latest information the minute anything comes into us, it goes up there, whether it's about something happening here in our community, something that Home Office is offering, or information from our larger Salt Lake community that is important for us to be aware of. And remember, if you're missing being in connection with other folks, at 12:30 after the service, join Reverend Myrna. You can chat on Zoom with other folks and just check in, see how everybody's doing, and interact with each other with whoever shows up. And we also want to remind everybody to please be a good citizen and vote. And citizen or not, please register for the census before the end of the month. We are all well aware that pandemic fatigue is happening to probably all of us. If anyone doesn't have that going on, if you would see me after the service and please tell me how you're doing that, I would be really interested. But in an effort to make mask wearing a little bit more fun, because I know we're all tired of it, but it's so important. So we're going to have a face mask contest. So what we're asking is that you get creative, and between now and October 20th, you create a special mask, take a selfie wearing your mask, and email it to Reverend Myrna. The address is on the website. We will have 3 prize categories: the most original, the most beautiful, and the funniest, weirdest, silliest. And then we will put all the pictures together in a slideshow, which we will show at the beginning of the service on October 25th, just in time for Halloween. So please join in the fun, and everybody participate to make this mask thing a little more bearable. The annual February Home Office sponsored convention is going to be held virtually this year, February 15th through 18th. The theme is One Mind, Infinite Connection, and it will be jam-packed with all kinds of great speakers, workshops, classes, music, and so much more. There is a special early bird discounted package rate available through the end of October. When 10 people sign up, it's a 50% discount off the price. So all the information, including how to sign up, is in the announcements section on our website. So check that out and let us know if you want to be in on this great deal. I got the first email yesterday, somebody wanting to participate, and we thank you, Selena, for being willing to head that up and coordinate all that. And as I do whenever I'm up here, I'd like to remind you that our center is a spiritual community that was founded on and is grounded in prayer, which helps us to deal with whatever it is that comes our way and to create positive outcomes regardless of what's going on in our lives. Our professional prayer practitioners are trained in the art and science of affirmative prayer, and they are so ready to pray for you and with you if you will just let us know that you'd like that. So if you could send us a prayer request, again, on the front page of the our website, homepage, and all of the practitioners will uplift you this week. And if you would like to connect personally and have a practitioner call you so you can participate in that prayer, just say that in your request, and one of our practitioners will give you a call and pray with you. So please take advantage of that. We're getting bored. We're not getting enough. Thank you, Rick, for your request this week. I wouldn't have outed you, but since you outed yourself. All righty, so now I want to invite you all to settle in, allow Jim's reading and the beautiful sacred music to connect you with that space inside where the divine lives as we prepare for Jim to lead us in prayer.
Good morning, everyone. Our reading today is from 365 Science of Mind, A Year of Daily Wisdom, from Ernest Holmes. I believe there is one spirit in which everyone lives, moves, and has their being. In this spirit, I am directly unified with all people. I recognize this spirit as individualized in everyone. Therefore, I am learning to see every person in the light of this divine and changeless truth. There is one spirit diffused through all humanity. With this spirit in everyone, I hold communion. In a hand clasp, I feel its warmth and color. In the exchange of thought, I feel the presence and activity of divine mind. In the blessing of friendship, I sense its love. I am separated from no one, united with all, and one with the eternal light itself. As I go among people, I know that the presence of pure spirit within me, which I recognize, blesses everyone I meet, tends to heal everything I touch, brings gladness into the life of everyone I contact. Therefore, I am a blessing to myself, to humankind, and to every day in which I live. I end today's reading with a powerful Hindu expression in word and movement, which honors the divine in me, as well as the divine in you. going to that place of stillness within. I feel the beating of my heart, the presence of that peaceful place of high consciousness. The worlds within that are invisible, the essence of all life. From this source, I draw love, kindness. I see beauty and perfection. In this sacred space, I am one with who I really am. I feel the truth of the heart of the world, the connection of all humankind to the one creator of all that is. I am so grateful to have spiritual community, to share this divine space, this beautiful, comforting space that transcends conditions, all circumstance, and allows me to enjoy each and every moment in that centered place of love and kindness, healing and support. As together we say, and so it is.
Continuing with our theme, Cosmic Connections. I wrote this song a few weeks ago, and you'll hear the word Umoja, and that's the title of this song. Umoja is a Swahili word. It's used profusely at the time of Kwanzaa, which is between Christmas and New Year's, but it's so apropos right now. It speaks of our physical and spiritual identity in community. So, Umoja, I am we. Let's sing together. I invite you. Remember to keep your masks on, please. Thank you.
Would you join me in a conversation? I will do all I can to understand.
Thank you. Thanks for singing along. It's my pleasure to introduce our special music today. Longtime friend, amazing musician, just an artist. And every way that she shares her talent is as a gift. She intends to give through her music. So many wonderful messages, and her spirit and soulful voice, an extraordinary talent. I think she plays at least a dozen instruments. Let's welcome back Lorraine Horstmanshoff.
Thank you, Rick, for that beautiful welcoming. Isn't this band awesome? Yeah, thank you for all being here, and for Raj and his sound crew always making us sound like spiritual rock stars. So I'm going to play this new instrument of mine. It's called a free notes. We all come from the mother, and to her we shall return like a drop of rain flowing to the ocean. We all come from the love, and to her we shall return like a drop of rain flowing to the ocean. We all come from the light, and to her we shall return.
Wow. Lorraine, you just never cease to amaze me with what you come up with next time. I'm just like, oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Well, I am so privileged to be able to do this today. Our speaker today is John Cooper. He is a staff chaplain at the Huntsman Cancer Hospital. He came into my life one day when he showed up for an interview when I was the chaplain there, and one of the best decisions we ever made was to hire him. He's also a Unitarian Universalist minister. John received his Master's of Divinity from Iliff School of Theology in Denver. He completed not one, but 2 residencies in clinical pastoral education at St. Mark's Hospital, and was awarded board certification as a chaplain by BCCI in 2016. His interests in spiritual care include sharing spiritual practices that help with coping and resiliency, which have certainly been needed in the craziness of 2020. Because of the recent surge in the COVID virus here in Utah and John's vital work with immune-compromised patients at Huntsman, in the interest of being abundantly cautious, our amazing tech wizards and audiovisual gurus, Raj and Rob, recorded his talk on Friday to share with you right now. So please join me in welcoming my dear friend and former colleague, Reverend John Cooper.
Thank you, Linda. The message that I am going to share with you this morning is rather personal. It is my story, a story of a connection to the divine and the trauma that helped me recognize and cultivate that connection. While I was reading the Science of Mind quotes and reflections for this month, I felt called to share this story. And though I have not shared it for years now, when I feel called to tell it, I tell it. Let me prepare you, though. When I have shared this story with others, they have noticed a trauma response in me that worried them. My body does remember, and this is not an easy story to tell. You may indeed get to see reactions. I may cry. My voice may crack. I may falter. This is very important. I am okay. I mean that. You do not need to worry or take care of me. This is my story. It is my home. Whatever you see, I'm okay. You can just listen, recognize, connect, and hear. I promise. I tell this story when I feel called because I believe some stories are worth the trauma of retelling them. And if I am honest with myself, which I really do try to be, this story may just be one of them. Let me start with a brief spiritual history so you get to know me a little better. I have been, my whole life, a student of spirit and soul. I grew up practicing Kundalini yoga in my mom's office in New York City. I practiced chi energy work in the martial arts as a kid. At 12 years old, I had shamanic visions and was sent to a psychologist for my hallucinations, but quickly grew clever enough to know that I ought to hide that spiritual reality from the adults who didn't seem to understand. Later in life, I encountered others who understood shamanism and recovered some of what I had to hide back then. By college, I already had 7 or 8 years of regular spiritual practice. And I stumbled into the opportunity to study the Hindu Ramayana under the direction of 2 monks from Kerala, who taught not only the dances and the Sanskrit and movement, but the meditation and trance work and spirituality and beliefs so that I could play the part of Bali the Monkey King. For nearly 20 years, I practiced Shaolin Kung Fu at least 10 hours a week, internal and external styles. Professionally, I was privileged as well. I worked in technology. I got lucky and was mentored by a senior strategic marketing executive in product management and market analysis. I got to work with names like Michael Crichton and Tom Clancy. I was fortunate. I lived a life full of privilege and opportunity, which may make the next thing I am about to say confusing. I was miserable. By 38 years old, I was ready to kill myself. My ideology, even with all my spiritual studies, was one focused on accomplishment and achievement. I simply never felt fulfilled. Ever. So we come now to February 2008, when I had just turned 38 years old, and I was calling my life insurance companies, exploring how to best ensure a payout for my wife. And all the while, I was praying to God for what I called a shakubuku, a term I'd heard in a John Cusack movie called Grosse Pointe Blank. I now know shakubuku comes originally from the Chinese version of the Buddhist Sri Maladevi Simhanada Sutra, an early Mahayana text, and it means to break and subdue. It describes the interruption of false teachings to make room for new learning. But I originally understood the word shakubuku in the immortal language of John Cusack, a swift spiritual kick to the head that realigns your relationship to all existence. And given how unfulfilled I felt, that sounded really good to me, and it was my prayer. I think perhaps, too, I need to define the word God clearly. Being a multi-faith chaplain, among other things, I believe God is within all things. It's part of their unique identity. So when I say I prayed, I mean I prayed to that God. I remember a chant from my Kundalini practice in childhood. I am God, God is me, we are one. And whenever I look at creation, the many plants, terrains, even the races and colors of many people, it seems to me that while we are one, there are many faces to our unity. And that is what God means to me, that oneness with many faces. For me, God also has a visceral meaning. I remember a presence in my earliest memories, always there, whispering in the creaking of the trees, the babbling brooks of my New Jersey home, felt deep in the smell of wet stone on mossy ground in living wood, felt on the crisp spring air or seen in the colors of fall. As a child, I was often alone, and I was a latchkey kid, except for that presence, intangible, present in everything around me, a friend of sorts that I could cry to, yell at, share hopes with. And when people started using the word God, I recognized the name. There's a Science of Mind quote that I read this week as I was researching a bit about who you are. I think maybe it touches on what I mean. No one ever walks life's road alone. There is ever another who walks with them. This is our inner self, the undying reality, which our personality but poorly emulates. Let us learn to be still and let the truth speak through us, to be still and know that inner light shines. So at 38 years old, I was praying to that presence, my God, for a shakubuku, and I was pretty clear, without it, I was going to end my life. Friday, February 22nd in 2008, at 5:30 p.m., my prayers were answered. I'd worked all day, no food, pushed myself, as I often did then. Evening time, I settled down with a beer on the couch, and when I suddenly felt nauseous, and I got up to run to the bathroom. The hallway went by at an odd angle, and that memory is the last memory I have as an able-bodied person. When I woke, I was face down in the hall of my home. I had soiled and peed myself, and I was paralyzed from my elbows down. I laid there in the hallway, face down on the floor, and I started to panic, and I do not mean just fear or worry. I mean the mind-numbing, completely overwhelming panic that eats all of your awareness, steals your ability to think, to function, to even see through or outside the panic. And I blacked out in that panic. And then something happened, something that I didn't expect. My training kicked in. Years of meditation and practice, without even knowing it, I started a breathing exercise. And my well-trained mind, cultivated from a lifetime of practice, began to organize itself without my help. So that when I woke to myself, there was a peace that passed understanding. I was not alone. Presence was there. Honestly, after my lifetime of opportunity, there are few souls, I think, who would have been better prepared for that crisis than I was. And in that calm, my mind took an inventory. I could move my arms. I could move 2 fingers on each hand. A couple of toes on each foot could move. I was aware that I had resources, blessings, if you will, to work my problem. And then I made a choice, one that I remember very clearly. I decided not to die that day. I just decided not to die right now. You see, I don't think I mentioned yet, my wife was out of town. And in that peace that passed understanding, I calmly realized that no one would find me for at least 4 days. I remember the prayer in the moment. Well, if I do die today, it won't be from lack of my effort. Are you going to help me here? And then I got to work with a question. And this is one of those moments where I actually spell out meaning in the sermon. My question was, what can I do right now? Years later, watching a TV show, I saw an interview with a guy who was mauled by a bear and left for dead, when he wasn't actually quite dead yet. And to my surprise, he quoted the same question, what can I do right now? And with that question, hope separated from expectation for me, all at once. Hope being a feeling, a kind of prayer of longing. Expectation being about what we anticipate. Hope being about what we long for and need to find. I hoped to survive. I expected to die. But in the context of the hope, the expectation didn't mean anything to me anymore. I took stock of the situation. The home phone was maybe 30 feet up the hall in front of me. But I couldn't remember if the cordless was in the cradle or where it was. My cell phone was on the dining room table behind me. I knew for sure, but I had to turn around to go that way. It's funny, as I was writing this, for the first time since then, I suddenly realized I have not left a cordless phone out of the cradle for 12 years now. Some things, they leave a mark, and some marks, they come to define us. So I set about to turn towards the cell phone, using my hands, my arms, my shoulders, my 2 working toes, and I dragged myself up the wall. And then with a deep breath, I flung myself in the other direction. The crash knocked me out again for a few hours, but I woke up and decided again, all over, not to die that day. Took stock, again asked, what can I do right now? And I started again. I will not review the next 5 or 6 hours in detail. That is how long it took me to get to the phone to call 911. I passed out multiple times. The ordeal went on, and each time I made that choice again. Sometimes challenges, they just don't end, do they? Okay, before I start sounding too heroic for you here, I need to admit that I also was in shock and did some very odd things. I took a 7-foot detour to change the TV channel. One of the times that I passed out, I woke to a vacuum cleaner infomercial. And dying to an infomercial was also unacceptable to me. And while a 7-foot detour may not seem like much, imagine covering 7 feet using just your shoulders and your elbows while lying on your face. Like I said, shock, not rational. That's important to understand. I was a mess. Even our heroes, they are human. So very human. We are all very human. And even in our triumphs, our human imperfections are sometimes visible. Eventually, I did manage to call 911. And when I called 911, what do you think were the first words that I said? Before I even realized I was going to say them. I've fallen and I can't get up. Seriously. Does anyone remember the MedAlert commercials? Right? I was so surprised at what I had said that I started laughing uncontrollably on the floor of my home in my living room with my phone on my chest. And I had a cord running from the phone to my ear. And I heard the operator say to me, "Sir, it's a crime to prank call 911. Which made me laugh even more. And I said, "No, I'm serious. I'm in shock. I fell. I'm paralyzed. I really can't get up, literally. Like, literally, I'm just on the floor. I can't get up. No, really." And she started asking a few questions, and I could hear the tension increase in her voice as she asked me, "Okay, sir, how did you fall?" "I don't know. I passed out, landed on my face, haven't been able to move since." "Sir, when was that?" Like 5 hours ago." She said she was sending the paramedics, and it made me laugh all over again when they arrived, because what do you think the first thing they said was? Sir, could you open the door for us?" What followed after that was a transcendent experience that's a blur for me. I do not remember the ambulance ride. The emergency department is a haze. The spirit world, it does not look exactly like this one. And I very much had one foot in the spirit world when I arrived in the emergency department. I remember seeing the caring connections around me, though. I cannot describe the sight. But I could see, after a fashion, who there cared and who did not. It was one of the most beautiful visions I've ever had. And I remember saying things to people there. I don't remember what I said, but I remember saying things to the people around me in the emergency department while I was laying on a backboard on a gurney that made them stop and look at me. And now, when I hear in Scripture, in the Gospels, "Let those who have ears hear," or "Let those who have eyes see," I think maybe I know what they mean. I got to have such eyes and ears for a night. I remember the phone call to my father. Maybe some of you have gotten similar calls in the middle of the night. It was horrible for him. It was horrible for me to have to call him and tell him, "Dad, I'm in the emergency room. I can't move." Growing up, as I said, I was a latchkey kid. My parents, they were stoic, hardworking, analytical New England stock. Some of you may know the type. I was born to be a bundle of feels, and most of my life they had absolutely no idea what to do with me. As an adult, I've come to understand that and appreciate what they were going through. As a child, my gosh, did that separation hurt. When I called my father at 3 a.m., it turns out they were supposed to host a wedding for 350 people the next evening in their home in Arizona. And so what did they do? They called the bride's mother at 3:15 a.m., told her where to find the key, and left immediately. One after another, people in my world made choices like that to show up for me in ways I could not possibly have anticipated. One friend came to see me in the hospital every day for the whole 6 weeks I was there. And the day he could not come, he called me. The pagan community that I belonged to, where I studied goddess worship and practiced rituals, they held fundraisers to help pay my medical bills and made offerings to help my healing. And I came to really know through this period what it's like to be loved, to feel loved. My wife, who was with me at the time, barely missed a beat. I remember the voicemail that I left for her. It was very calm. I was very calm. "Hey, honey, hi. I know you're at the art conference and kind of a little thing happened. I kind of fell and I kind of can't get up again. So I'm in the emergency department. I'm fine. Lots of people here. people who are looking out for me. I just can't sit up, hun. So you don't need to leave the conference early if you don't want to. Just give me a call when you can, okay? She was camping and didn't get that voicemail until the next morning. It turns out that when I passed out running, I had fallen at just the right angle, and I had hit my chin, knocked my lower teeth all the way through my lip. But when I hit my chin, I hit at just the right angle on the disc between C5 and 6 in my neck, so that disc ruptured inward on my spine and cut off my spinal column, which is why I couldn't move. The hormones, the therapies, they did not help reduce the swelling enough. So a surgeon came in that Sunday morning, cut his vacation short, and called in his whole team to take the pressure off my spine as fast as possible in the hopes that the spinal nerve tissue would recover. I was blown away by their sacrifice on my behalf, strangers, interrupting their lives to try and offer me caring and healing. And after surgery, the first person I met was a physical therapist who helped me to stand up, and oddly today, I am grateful that I could not stand for more than a few seconds, since that's what landed me at acute patient rehab at University Hospital. And I like to call that inpatient stay my monastic period. When I arrived in rehab, they did something I won't talk very much about from the pulpit, involving pins and some private parts, but the doctor was very excited. He said, "Wow, man, you have really great sphincter response." And I remember laughing and asking what that meant. And I stopped laughing when he told me, "We don't know. We hope it means you can get up and walk again." And I need to pause here for a moment to remind you, or to say to you, that before this accident, I was Batman. I'm serious. I was literally a mythical kung fu superhero. I knew 37 different systems of Shaolin Kung Fu, mantis form, monk form, drunken man, weapon forms. I broke granite rocks 3 inches thick in half with my bare hands. But when the doctors said those words, "We hope maybe it means you can walk again," everything fell apart, all of it. I remember feeling presence again with me. And the words I spoke back to the doctor sounded far away to me and ethereal. I heard them echo out into all things around me at the time. "Well then, Doc, neither you nor I get to decide what I get back, do we? That belongs to God, Allah, Providence, whatever you want to call it, Doc." And I remember thinking, please be listening, God, Allah, Providence, please. "No, Doc. The only thing you and I get to control is how hard we're going to work for it. The rest is up to everything else, isn't it?" And before that moment, despite a lifetime of study, I do not believe that I understood the Buddhist concept of detachment. And after that moment, I think I get it a lot better. When I went into rehab, I had never really ever encountered hospital staff before. They were amazing, encouraging, patient, kind, and persistently caring. They were constantly reflecting back to me hope, resilience, and worth. It was astonishing. I remember my first physical therapy session. I had worked on standing and sitting over and over again for an hour, and I was completely exhausted. I was certain I could barely sit up, let alone do any more. And that crazy physical therapist, whom I still speak with sometimes, you know what he said to me at the end of that session when I thought I couldn't even sit up for much longer? "Hey, I think you could walk, man." And I responded, "Tomorrow, I'm too tired. I cannot." I was so certain. And then I heard my wife's voice. "Maybe just a few steps, honey." I stood up and crossed that room 6 times in a harness that helped me. And next session, I started trying to do kung fu in that harness. Our limits, they are simply not where we think they are. And although I never did manage to get back my kung fu, my muscle memory all changed. My whole body felt different. And I spent 20 years etching kung fu into my nervous system, burning it into my body and my muscle memory. And when my body changed sensation, my muscles just couldn't connect it anymore and couldn't remember anymore. And although that loss hurts me all of the time, every day I'm grateful for it. As we prepare to be in prayer together, let me answer a question. Why would I say that I'm grateful for the loss? When I left rehabilitation, I told all of the amazing staff there, you do not understand. This has changed me. This has marked me. Nothing is the same. You are amazing, you are astonishing, and I will come back to help you. I had no idea what I meant. I think it was about 10 years later, after years of ministerial formation, soul searching, 2 years of hard clinical training at St. Mark's, also a year immediately after my injury that I just spent drunk. And then another master's degree, this time in divinity, a whole bunch of ridiculously painful personal work, committee reviews, mentoring, constant peer feedback, not only on my work, but on my personhood, on who I was in preparation for the work. And after all of that, some 10 years later, I was covering University Hospital when I got a page to go to the rehab unit to see a man, discouraged because his body was not recovering well after a stroke. And they thought maybe a chaplain might help. When I walked up to the room, I recognized the room number. It was my room. It was my room. The divine is with us always. Creation is listening in every single moment, no matter how hard or gracious. No matter how hard or gracious, every moment is interconnected. And we may not always get what we want from creation. I think believing we get what we want is a misunderstanding. I think maybe instead, as the Rolling Stones song says, if you try real hard, you might find you get what you need. Thank you. Please join me in prayer at this time. Creation, source of all things, you that we know by many names and many faces, you one infinite presence that flows through all of us. We ask that you hear us. We long to feel your presence with us, deep within our hearts and minds, reflected back to us in the faces of others, resonating with us in the world around us. Go gentle with us, deep presence, as you present us with our learnings and our knowings. Help us to remember that we are all being with you and with each other. Help us to remember and know that our diversity and our differences are as welcome to you as the diversity we see in the natural world around us. Show us our paths. Help us to know what must be seen, to know what must be known, and to act with compassion and caring in all things. This world today, presence, we see that it needs more people of compassion. Help us to illuminate and extend your compassion always, as one people, many parts. And now we lift our voices to you to say thank you for the grace, the lessons, and the love. May it be so, as it already is. Amen. Thank you.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I give. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Now is our time of conscious giving, which in our center is one of our spiritual practices, something we do for our own spiritual well-being. We recognize the blessings that have come to us as part of the divine flow of good. In gratitude, we keep that flow going by sharing what we have with our spiritual center so that it might continue to bless and remind us of the truth of who we are. We understand some of you are experiencing changes in your financial situation. And just know that for those of you who can continue to contribute, it will mean more now than ever. If you are here with us, an usher will be coming around with a basket should you want to give that way, or you can use the information on the screen to text your gift. In the spirit of gratitude for your good, please bring your gift into your mind and your heart as we speak together our giving affirmation. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Filled with gratitude, I let this be, and so it is.
All that I need comes to me. All that I need comes to me. The light of love and grace shines upon my face. All that I need comes to me. I've been set free, I'm released. I've been set free, I'm released. The burden of my past has gone away at last. I've been set free, I'm released. All that I need comes to me. All that I need comes to me. The light of love and grace shines upon my face. All that I need comes to me. All that I need comes to me.
Let's hear some more from Lorraine Horstmanshoff. Special music. Yeah.
Going to invite Delanne and Leslie to, with their beautiful voices, to help me out here. So I've chosen a Hindu Sanskrit chant to help us get out of our way just a little bit more. That's the thing I love about music and art and spirit. Really calls us to be very present here now, where everything is really already all right, yeah?
Yeah.
So I want you to sing on the response with these two lovely ladies.
Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha. 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 Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. 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 Don't worry about a thing. Oh no, don't you worry about a thing, you know, 'cause every little thing is already alright. Whoa, oh, oh, oh. Sing and don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is already alright. I rise up this morning, smiled with the rising sun. You know, 3 little birds singing on my doorstep. You know, they're singing a sweet song with melodies pure and true. Oh yeah, they're singing. This is my message to you. Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha, Jai Ganesha. 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 Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Lorraine. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for sharing these times with us. Special service today. Beautiful message and wonderful music. And feeling this spirit of connection with you is awesome. That's what spiritual community is all about. We wish for you to have a blessed week, a joyful week. Look for the good. Thank God for the rain today. Yeah, they're beautiful. Yeah, the clean air. You feel the crisp in the autumn air. It's beautiful. And you're beautiful. Remember that. We'll miss you. We love you. Be safe. Let's sing together our closing song. I invite you to stand. You can join hands if you're in the same household. Otherwise, no. And keep your masks on. I'm going to sing a really fun closing song. Let's Work Together. It's by a rock and roll band, Canned Heat. We're going to feature our amazing Rory Norseth here playing lead guitar. So I dare you to stand still. 1, 2, 3.
Together we stand, divided we fall, yeah. Come on now, people, let's get on the ball and work together. Come on, let's work together. Now, people, because together we stand, every boy, girl, woman, every man. Before things go wrong, as they sometimes will, the roads that we travel sing all uphill. Let's work together. Come on, let's work together. You know, together we stand, every boy, girl, woman, every man. Well, now 2 or 3 minutes, 2 or 3 hours, what does it matter in this life of ours? Let's work together. Come on, let's work together. Now, people, because together we stand, every boy, girl, woman, every man. Make someone smile. Let's all work together, make life worthwhile. Let's work together. Come on, let's work together. Now, people, because together we stand, every boy, girl, woman, every man. Oh, well, now, come on, all you people, walk hand in hand. Let's make this world a good place to stand. Let's work together. Come on, let's work together.